Alright guys, so one of the big things that's been showing up in academics is, oh, try this again, let's try to spell. Inverting to base 2 or to base 10 is one that's been coming up a lot. And this morning when I was thinking about it and trying to figure out the best way to do this and try to help us so that we can start answering these, I did come up with something. And one of the big things, especially going from base 2 to base 2 is really focused on powers of 2. So what numbers that we could possibly have with this are, well, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and going on. And really using this here, we can convert from base 10 to base 2 or base 2 to base 10 very easily. Because what we're saying is that in each of the numbers for a base 2, it's talking about 2 to a power. So really 1 is 2 to the 0. 2 is going to be 2 to the first. 4 is 2 squared, 8 is 2 to the third, 16 is 2 to the fourth, 32 is 2 to the fifth, 64 is 2 to the sixth, 128 is 2 to the seventh. And if we were looking at a base 2 number, kind of convert back to base 10, well, it'd be, say, we're looking at the number 11010. So our last 0 would be with base 2. Our 1 would be with base, or 2 to the 1. Our 0 would be with our 2 squared. Our 1 would be with 2 to the third. Our 1 would be with 2 to the fourth. And normally when we do this, we wouldn't have to add all of these here together, simplify that out and go that way. Because we would do 1 times 2 to the fourth, plus 1 times 2 to the third, plus 0 times 2 squared, plus going each one of these here. But we don't have to do that. We don't even have to mess with any of this here. Because if we really wanted to work this out, we can use these numbers here we have written in red, the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Because we have 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, as I'm writing right over the top of it. Let's move it over here. And we would just add the ones together, because here, so 0 for the first one, so we don't have a 1. We have 1, 2. We have 0 for 4, so it's not there. 2 and 16, so really we would just add 2 plus 8 plus 16, giving us the base 10 number 26. So 11010 is 26 in base 10. And that's all we would need to do. Not Phil. And we can do this with any base 10 number or base 2 number. So erase those there. Rewrite back in our 1 and our 4. Well, we could say that we want to convert the base 2 number 101011. So again, we read it smallest to biggest. So 110 101. And we can just add it together. So we'd have 1 plus 2 plus, well, we don't have a 4, but we do have an 8. We don't have a 16, and we have a 32. Well, that's 3 and that's 40. So this is 43. And that's it. And that's all we'd have to do for any base 2 number to base 10. So going from base 2 to base 10, that's all we need to do. Now if we're going the other way, base 10 to base 2. So at one of the academic meets, they told us to convert 84 to base 2. And when we do this, we'll have this number line written out. We'll have this written out. And we look for the biggest number that can go into 84. Well, that's 64. So we have it going into it once. We can subtract it. 84 minus 64 is 20. Well, 32 won't go into 20, but 16 will. So we'll subtract 16 from 20, which is 4. 8 won't go into it, but 4 will, and that finishes it out, which tells us our base 2 number for 84 is 1010100. And that's it. That's all we have to do for this here. And we can look at another example of this here. Let's say 29. Well, the biggest number that'll go into 29 is 16, and it'll go into it once. So we subtract 16 from it and get 13. Well, 8 will go into that once, which gives us 5. 4 will go into it once. Leaves us with 1, so 0, 1. So 29 in base 2 is 11101. And that's it. And that's all we have to do for this year. Again, I'll do another example with this here. Let's say 129. Well, 128 will go into 129 once, which gives us 1. So 64 won't go into 1, 32 won't go into 1, 16 won't go into 1, 8 won't go into 1, 4 won't, 2 won't, but 1 will. So we get the number 1000001. And that'd be our answer. And that's all we have to do on any of these here. So hopefully this makes sense. If you have any other questions, please ask.